Wraith Cruiser. This is BlueBrixx Stargate set 106844. It was released in April 2024 for about €55. This construction block set consists of 1037 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other construction blocks companies like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. This is a BlueBrixx Pro set, which means we get this quite colorful box. Unlike the special sets, we get to see some images on this box here. So, for example, we get to see Atlantis from the Stargate Atlantis series, of course, and the Stargate here. And most important, we get to see a computer-rendered image of the assembled ship. On the backside, we get to see the whole build, which means the completed ship, including its stand. And we also get to know the dimensions of that build. It's going to be 38.6 centimeters by 32.2 centimeters by 15.6 centimeters. In the Stargate Atlantis series, the Wraith cruisers have a length of about 2.5 kilometers. Our build here isn't going to be that huge, it's only in mid-size scale. BlueBrixx so far has released Stargate sets in minifigure-sized scale, in mid-sized scale, and also in display-sized scale. Their display sets are their biggest sets. This mid-sized scale set here is one category smaller. Alright, then now let's have a look inside this box. It's a BlueBrixx Pro set, so the bricks come sorted to building sections. They come in numbered bags, and each of those numbers stands for one building section. There's also a unnumbered bag, which contains bricks which I guess we are going to need throughout the building process. Another thing about the Pro sets is that they come with printed building instructions. Sadly, there are no digital instructions. When we open the instructions, we can immediately see that there are 4 building sections. I'm going to open now all the bags with number 1 on them, and then I'm going to start with step 1-1. I'm coming back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work as intended. Step 1-10. I just have built this little segment here of the stand, and as you can see, we used an axle for this thing. Here is a little help how to place all these pieces on the axle so we can hold our build next to this image here to see if the length of the peeking out axle is correct. The axle used here is quite okay. It's often a problem with BlueBrixx special sets that the axles are of low quality, and when you slide them in these 2x2 round bricks, you really have to push very hard. But in this case, everything was quite okay. And yeah, actually, I haven't placed the axle correctly, but I was able to correct the whole thing in the final sub-step of step 1-10. I just could push a bit on the axle and it slid in quite well. This wouldn't be possible with a BlueBrixx special set. So the bricks are alright, they are manufactured by Xingbao, at least it says so on the box. This is the other part of the stand which we have built so far, and there you can see that the bricks come with these ugly injection holes on their studs. Luckily, I think there are only 2 studs visible once the build is complete. I only could see these 2 studs here on this image here. And yeah, other than that, these studs are hidden underneath tiles or other pieces, so most of the ugly injection holes won't be visible. The bricks work totally fine, there is no problem with the clutch power at all. Only the ugly injection points are, not the best thing to look at. And you can also see that the tiles aren't as glossy as we are used to from Lego. Alright, now it's time to continue in the instructions with step 1-11. There we are going to build a second piece like this here. Step 1-14. In this step we are starting to build a little Stargate which is part of the stand. So we got these printed tiles here. They are pre-attached to this black 8x8 plate. And what we are going to do now in the next steps is to detach the tiles from this plate, from this black plate, and place them on these two blue plates here. The pieces are already pre-attached to this black plate because when you do it like this, it's easier for you to print on these pieces. The pieces, once they are attached, are perfectly aligned, and this also means that, we can print on them in one single go and we'll have perfectly aligned prints on all those pieces. What's a bit strange is that we are going to start to detach this round tile here in the middle. And in later steps we are removing the other tiles and placing them on these plates here. That's a bit problematic. It's not so easy to start detaching pieces from the middle. It would be easier to start with the rim and end with the middle. BlueBrixx knows about this problem. They have said this in one or two of their videos. And in future sets they plan to start building the Stargate with the rim. But I think in this set it isn't too difficult to detach the tile in the middle because we got this axle here, and we simply can push this axle in this hole of the plate like this, and now the tile in the middle is loose. Oh, come out. Here it is. Step 1-15. Well, maybe this time it was easy to remove the centerpiece, but in this step we need the pieces around the centerpiece, and I can't really remove them with my fingernails or with a brick separator. So, like I did with the other Stargate sets, once again I'm going to disassemble this whole thing from the rim. This is way easier. Step 1-18. We have removed all the tiles now from this 8x8 round plate, and when we have a look at the instructions, they want us to throw it away. Of course, this is not going to the bin, it's going to my collection. Step 1-20. The stand with its little Stargate and its plaque is complete. Now it's time to start with the ship itself in building section 2. So I just placed all the bricks we are going to need for the second building section on the table, and have a look at all these 1x2 by 1 2/3 brick modifieds with studs on the side. I think we are going to have much fun with them. Have a look here at the completed second building section. There we can see that we are going to create a huge snot section. Snot means studs not on top. And we are going to use a lot of these pieces. And I think it's always fun to build something with bigger pieces. It's always annoying when you only have to place hundreds and hundreds of 1 by 1 plates, for example, but creating something with these bigger pieces, that's always fun. Step 2-72. BlueBrixx uses several methods to reverse the building direction. Most of these techniques aren't used by the Lego company. Here we get one of the special pieces BlueBrixx uses. So you can see we got a 1 by 1 plate with studs on both sides. This of course is the easiest way to reverse the building direction. So we can see that we got a plate here to which I have attached this 2 by 2 round plate, and also several of these reverse plates, let's call them like that. And yeah, when I place them on the underside of the plate, it means that at the same time we get some studs on the underside of the plate, to which now we can attach other bricks. Step 2-74. Here are more pieces to reverse the building direction. So once again we got these 1 by 1 plates with studs on both sides, but now we also got a 2 by 2 plate with studs on both sides. And then we got these things here. It looks a bit like 1 by 2 plates with studs on both sides, but those things are actually a bit thinner than plates, as you can see here. Step 2-81. This is not my favorite step. So we have these two segments here, and now it's time to marry them. But you can see that we have to connect a lot of studs. And yeah, it's always not so easy to interlock that many studs at once. To be able to build up more pressure to interlock those two segments, I simply removed some of these antenna parts here. And without them, I can press these two segments together like this. I can press them against the table, and this really helps to interlock everything. Now I simply have to add the antennas again. Alright, the silhouette of our ship is now visible. Let's go on with building section 3. Step 3-14. In this step we need two of these tools here in pearl dark gray. And yeah, you can see that they come like this. They are molded like this, so we have to detach the tools which we need. So we need this tool here, and the second one is here. And I'm quite sure that all the other tools are additional. I don't think that we are going to use them in this set. Step 3-45. We just have completed the third building section. Our Wraith cruiser starts to become recognizable. Now it's time for the fourth, the final building sections. There are only a few steps left. Step 4-6. In this step and in one of the previous steps, we have built these little segments here. So we got one of these segments on this side of the ship, and here you can see there's the other segment on the opposite side. We have created these segments with the help of hinges, and it's quite a nice idea. So with the help of hinges, we really can place the pieces in the correct shape of the ship. You can see that we have also done more or less the same technique here. And here everything works perfectly fine. But this little segment and also the segment on the other side are a bit problematic. So we place the segment on these studs over here, and to avoid the segment from swinging in every direction, there is this little stud here, which it's not really interlocked with this slope here. It just sticks in there, and so you can't really move the whole segment. But we got a little problem. So when I place the whole thing here, we can see that here in the front we got a gap. The whole segment doesn't really stay down on those, what are those? Yeah, on those tiles below. The segments are levitating. They are floating in the air. Yeah, that's not so cool to look at. For a moment I thought maybe it is supposed to look like this. Maybe there really is this gap. But let's have a look at the cover of our instructions. And there's clearly visible that the segments here lay flat on the tiles below. Step 4-25. The build is complete. Then let's have a look at our Wraith cruiser here. I really have more or less no knowledge about Wraith cruisers. It's been a while since I watched Stargate Atlantis, and I don't think that even in the TV series you get to know much about these ships. Well, I think earlier I said that the ship has a size or a length of about 2.5 kilometers, and I just checked that online, and yeah, I got bombarded with different sizes. Maybe the ship is only half the size, maybe it's only a kilometer long, or maybe 1.5 kilometers, I don't really know. Well, when we have a look at this model here, I have to say, I don't know if I'm really a fan of this thing. The shape of the ship might be absolutely accurate, and also the colors might look like intended by the creators of the TV series and like the ship looked like in the series, but maybe it isn't the best idea to create a display set of this ship here. It somehow looks like a toy. I'm really not a fan of these colors. The designer did a great job, I'm absolutely sure about this, but simply the ship itself looks strange as a model. And yeah, there are some problems with this ship. So we talked about this before, but I think this really looks ugly here, that the pieces here are not connected to the construction below, or at least that they don't sit flat on the ground here. This might be a problem solely of the hinge plates. I'm not really sure. It would have been better if they had connected it here in the front or somewhere on the way to the front with an additional stud. So this whole part here only is connected via the hinge plate, and yeah, you can see why this is not a good idea. Another thing is that maybe I'm crazy, but I think that the front of the ship is slightly raised compared to the back. It looks a bit like the ship is in a starting position or something like that. And I might have an idea what's the problem behind this. I think I assembled everything correctly, but there might be a problem with the stand. Let me try to remove the ship from the stand with just one single hand, because I'm holding the camera with the other hand. Okay, so you can see that here on this left column, we got this Technic axle here. And here on the right, the ship is only connected with a round brick. So here goes the round brick. And here, where this hole is, there is supposed to sit the axle. And I guess that the axle is simply a slight bit too long. It doesn't completely, go in there. I have to admit that I think that the ship looks even better in this raised position, but technically, this might be an illegal building technique because of its connection here in the back. And yeah, this means when we get to this, when the ship is interlocked with these studs here, that they are not interlocked that well with the studs on the left side compared to the studs on the right side, because the farther you go to the left, the ship just gets in a position which is farther away from the ground than on the right side. Well, okay, let's take the opportunity to have a look on the underside of the ship while it's detached from its stand. And here you can see that there, everywhere the studs are covered, only here and near this round thing here, there are these two visible studs. But they don't show any injection points, so that's totally fine. The only visible studs which are ugly to look at are here on the upper side. Just let me interlock the ship back again with the stand. Yeah. Only here in the front we get these two visible studs, and here the left stud got this ugly injection hole. But all in all, I have to say that the designer has done a great job with hiding injection holes. And yeah, this is the only stud which shows one of the really ugly injection holes. Sadly, it's in the front, but it's just a 1x2 plate, so maybe you can place a Lego piece or whatever here, and yeah, everything should be fine then. Okay. I really don't know anything about the ship, so I can't tell you if these are here weapons or, I don't know, some other constructions. If I remember correctly, there must be a hangar bay somewhere, but I don't know where. And I also can't tell you where the bridge is. But I like how they did the engines here. Those look really cool. I think those are, at least optically, the highlights of the set. And yeah, the stand itself, beside the problem with the raised front of the ship, is absolutely fine. It comes with this little Pegasus Galaxy Stargate, and of course this little plaque here, which tells us that we get to see a Wraith cruiser here from the Stargate Atlantis TV series. What else can I say? The building process was absolutely fine. It might not be the easiest Stargate set to build, but it wasn't really a difficult build. I showed you that we had this snot-built core of the ship, to which we later added other pieces on top and below. And yeah, it was a quite fast build. It's not a huge set, but I think it has a very nice size. Once again, BlueBrixx used a lot of protected pieces for the set. With protected pieces, I mean pieces which use a design which is still protected by the Lego company. But BlueBrixx does this with all their sets, and I don't know. I don't think that they get into trouble. They compete on Lego's home market, on the European market, and we all know that Lego really is protective about their stuff. You really get in contact with one of their lawyers very fast when you do something wrong, but for some reason BlueBrixx gets away with this all the time for years now, so I'm quite sure that they have some kind of deal with the Lego company or something like that. So it's perfectly fine. In previous videos I often showed you the protected pieces, and I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a problem for Lego, so it shouldn't be a problem for us. I don't want to waste your time with showing you all these protected pieces, which maybe BlueBrixx absolutely are allowed to use them. Well, I don't think that I can recommend you this set. It's a nice build, or the build itself was fun, and it might look really like a scene in the TV series, but this problem here is absolutely annoying, and I'm just not a fan of those colors. I would recommend to build one of BlueBrixx's other Stargate sets. I had very much fun with building the Prometheus, for example, or if you prefer a smaller model, maybe the Aurora is a good choice for you.